Blue Jackets returned to action last night after over 2 weeks off the ice. The CBJ beat the Chicago Blackhawks 5-1 at Nationwide Arena. Kent Johnson scored twice, and Zach Werenski added a goal and 2 assists. The Blue Jackets will take on the Dallas Stars on Tuesday at 7 p.m. The Columbus Crew started the 2025 season off with a 4-2 win over the Chicago Fire. Diego Rossi scored twice in a 6-minute span to seal the game. The Crew will travel to New England to face the Revolution next Saturday at 7:30. The OSU men's basketball team is out west to take on UCLA at 3:45. Coverage will start on the Fan at 2:45 with the warm-up show. The Cincinnati Reds defeated the Cleveland Guardians 6-3 in the first game of spring training yesterday in Arizona. The Reds also played the Milwaukee Brewers yesterday but lost 8-7. Cincinnati will play the San Francisco Giants at 3:05, and the Guardians will face the Los Angeles Angels at 3:05.
From ONN, this is Hollywood Casinos On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Here are your hosts, Dave Biddle and Scotty Vegas.
Happy Sunday morning. It is On the Money. I am Scotty Vegas, but our guy Dave Biddle is in a sunny venue right now in Arizona. He is enjoying spring training baseball and the Cincinnati Reds. He's following them around in Arizona, and I love it. He's talked about this for months, that this has always been a dream come true for him to go out and follow the Reds for spring training. So we have another Reds fan in the house. It's Ryan Baker. Ryan, good morning.
Hey, it's my return to On the Money. It's been a little while, but as somebody who did that just a couple years ago, my dad and I went out to spring training in Arizona for the Reds in 2023. I know the time that Dave Biddle is going to have this week, and I'm so happy for our guy that he gets to do something he's always wanted to do, and it is such a good time. It's beautiful scenery out there, beautiful ballparks. If you follow them and go to the different parks and everything, it's so cool. It's like they've got 15, 20 college baseball parks out there. They all seat like 5,000-6,000 people, and it's just so cool seeing the differences of all of them, getting to see the players. Like if you go to the backfields in the morning, getting to see them go through drills and warming up and all that stuff. You get to see former legends. Like I'm literally standing on a backstop looking at players warm up, and Eric Davis, my favorite baseball player of all time when I was a kid, is standing right next to me, and my dad's sitting in the stands talking to Lenny Harris, and it's so cool. And you get access to people and players and things and former players that you would never dream of getting. You get it there at spring training.
I love that so much. I went to spring training games in Florida when I was a kid, and I was a humongous baseball fan when I was a kid, and so it was a dream. I remember going to watch, I think it was in Dunedin, Florida, watching the Blue Jays, and going to watch Detroit, the Tigers, and seeing Cecil Fielder up close and personal. I still remember as a little kid, I'm sitting there like in the line to get Cecil Fielder's autograph, and he's just a mountain of a man, right? I mean, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, I hope he picks me. And then you get that autograph, and it is a really cool thing, spring training, because of, as you said, the access that you get and how close you can get to the field and how close you can get to the players, and it's just a fun atmosphere. So really excited for Dave, because Dave has been talking about wanting to do this forever, and we all have our own bucket list items, right? And for Dave, going to follow around the Reds in spring training was a bucket list thing for him.
It was. And the one thing I wish, so when my dad and I went out there, we actually played a lot of golf. So we golfed a lot in the morning and then would actually go to the games. And some of those parks are spread out. Like, depending on where you're staying, you may drive an hour to go see a baseball game if the Reds are playing someone that night and you want to go watch them, or whoever it is. But the one thing I wish we would have done more was maybe golfed like a couple days less and actually went to those morning backfield type practices and stuff, because that was really cool. If I ever get to do it again, or if I ever choose to do it again, I would do that. Spend a little more time at those practices and maybe miss a game or two instead to go watch that because that is super cool.
Yeah, I always say it's cool to find the hidden gems in sports. And I think that spring training, maybe it's not necessarily a hidden gem because I think a lot of people know about it. But if you haven't done it, it is a hidden gem. And like I try to tell people in the summertime, especially in the state of Ohio, that if you like tennis a little bit, or if you just like to party a little bit, going down to Cincinnati, it's now called the Cincinnati Open, but it is a great tennis tournament in Mason, Ohio, and it is so much fun. It's like a basically second weekend in August. Actually, it's the whole week, second week of August, and the top players all come play in it. And it's an event where, again, you can be really close to the action. You can hop to a bunch of different courts. It is one of those hidden gems in sports that I don't think a lot of people realize how much fun that you can have and how close and how great of an experience that you can have. And I think that's kind of similar to spring training where, wow, you get to experience something up close that you don't necessarily get to in a regular season.
We had a discussion kind of similar to this week on Bishop and Friends, 9 to noon on 97.1 The Fan in Columbus. What is a once-a-year sporting event that you haven't been to that you want to go to? And it's a great question because there's so many. If you're a sports fan, I'm guessing there's so many answers. Like, you know me, I'm a huge hockey guy. There'd be nothing better to me than going to a Game 7 of the Stanley Cup, especially coming off that Four Nations tournament. How cool would that have been to be at something like that? But you've got something like the Masters, that would be amazing to go to. The Final Four every year if you haven't been there. Maybe it's the Rose Bowl, So there's all kinds of, there's so many great answers in this, and it's awesome to hear different people's perspectives on what they'd want to do and why.
I smell a call-in show topic for later on. Of course,
it might even be a this or that topic for one of mine.
There you go. And of course, we've got 2 hours of On the Money, and then we've got the call-in show from 11 to noon today. Now, it is a fascinating topic, and one of the reasons why we bring it up is because I opened up my phone yesterday because I like to look at the forecast and just to see what the heck we're going to be dealing with in Columbus over the next week. And Ryan,
it's not bad.
I got to see a 6-0 on my phone because during the week this weekend, it's supposed to get up to 60 degrees, which also starts me thinking about spring sports and what we have coming up. And specifically for us on this show, the betting world in spring sports. What are you most excited for going forward? Because there's a lot of different things I think to be excited about. Obviously, you've got the Masters coming up. That's in April. Everybody loves March Madness, talking about that. Mm-hmm. But then you also have the Blue Jackets who are in play here and making a nice little run down the home stretch here to try and get a playoff berth for them. You got Ohio State hoops, men's and women's, heading into tournament play. Some people really get into Kentucky Derby. How about the start of baseball? How about the Cavs NBA playoffs? How about NHL playoffs? There's so many different things to bet on in sports. And I like to do them all. I like to bet on all of them. But what's that one sport that you love to bet on in spring that you're most excited for?
The one that I've done the longest, and you do every year, at least I do, that you just mentioned, is the Kentucky Derby.
Ooh, I didn't think you were going that route.
That's so fun, and there's so many different ways to do it, and it can be super hard to hit, but that's just, I feel like everybody watches that 2 minutes, and maybe it's not like it used to. We talked about that of sports in general, except for the NFL, it seems like, and maybe college football, the ratings are going down and down and down. But I feel like a lot of people, a lot of eyeballs still go to the Kentucky Derby, and that's so fun. I always like doing a little Masters too as well. But the Kentucky Derby is something that I feel like betting on horses has been way more mainstream, obviously, than sports betting for a long time. And I feel like that's just part of the pageantry of the Kentucky Derby is you bet on it.
That's such a great call, and the fact that it's one of those sports that we pay no attention to throughout the entire year, but we are willing to throw money down on these horses because it is such a big betting event, right? I mean, and this is an event where, like, I can't think of another sport where I don't pay any attention to it at all throughout the year, yet I'm going to place money on it when it happens.
And you know what's crazy? Maybe for some people that could be auto racing, like a Daytona 500 or an Indy 500. I don't know. But what's so crazy about the horse racing part is after the Kentucky Derby, if your horse doesn't win, chances are they ain't running in the next two. And the next two, people don't care as much, especially if the Derby winner doesn't win. I don't know if it's the Preakness or the Belmont, the next one. But especially if the Derby winner doesn't win that next race, nobody cares about the last one at all anymore because you don't get to see the Triple Crown.
Yeah, and it's funny because, again, I opened up the phone. I was looking at what the weather was going to be like for that Stadium Series game next Saturday. I was just curious what we were going to be dealing with. It looks like it's going to be potentially a high of 50 degrees and a relatively nice day. But what caught my eye opening the phone was that we were going to see a 60-degree day, and so that's got me thinking about a bunch of spring sports. For me,
a little wet golf.
Yes, you know me. If that temperature is going to be above 50, I am willing to go out and walk the course and play. But as far as spring sports for me to bet on, look, I still think there's nothing better than that first weekend of March Madness, and I'm going out to Vegas. I'm actually going out for the first time in a couple years, and I'm going out the week of conference tournaments. Okay, I'm doing it a little bit different this year. Usually I go out for the first weekend of the tournament.
A week early.
I'm going out a week early. I should just stay for 2 weeks. But no, I'm going to go out for the conference tournament week. Tons of basketball that week. Really excited for that. And, of course, for me, also betting-wise, I'm already starting to place Masters futures bet. All right, we had one of the most perfectly designed sporting events of all time this last week. How can it be replicated by other sports? Hint, create events that people want to bet on. We're going to get into that next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. And everybody's had these pains, these little nicks, these things that you maybe had an injury when you were younger and you thought it went away. And then all of a sudden, as you get older, it starts to creep back. Doing everything, walking up the stairs, doing your favorite activities, golf, skiing, whatever it might be, the summer, the spring, the winter, it hurts. Hey, do not deal with it any longer. The hip, the knee, the shoulder, the back, whatever it is, there's good news. Go to QC Kinetics. They're groundbreaking treatments for that arthritis pain. They're going to make you feel better. The long-term relief, it's now possible. They're right here in Columbus under the leadership of Dr. Ray Tesner, founder of Grant Sport Medicine and a classically trained orthopedic surgeon. Don't wait. Make the call today. My dad and I did. His knee's starting to feel better. My knee feels better. They've got PRP treatments. They can change your life. I'm telling you right now. So go to qckinetics.com/Columbus for your free consultation or give them a call at 380-208-4544. It's not going to go away on its own. They've got 2 offices in Dublin and Gahanna, so check them out.
We have made our community a very important part of our business. One of the things that many people may not realize is that I was born and raised in Columbus. Our plant is in Columbus. All of our employees are from Ohio. And the community hears about all that stuff. And so the community trusts us.
Visit Rosati Windows by the end of this month and get 35% off all windows and doors.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here, thinking I did something spectacular dropping 50 pounds, but then Steve pops in and dropped a whopping 150 pounds with Awaken 180 weight loss.
I got started because I was sick and tired of just being sick and tired all the time, wanted more from life, and I knew that at my size, I wasn't being who I could be, who I want to be for not only myself, but for my wife. And I was like, something has got to change and it's got to start soon. I mean, the program is so easy. Everything is really written down for you on your first day. Having someone there to help you and also keep you accountable, just having that someone to talk to, and even the fact that Awaken 180 offers free maintenance for life is amazing because our lives change on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And sometimes you need help figuring it out because keeping the weight off is a lifetime commitment.
A lifetime commitment is what you'll receive with Awaken 180. More than 50 pounds to lose like I did or over 100 pounds like Steve, Awaken 180 can get you there and keep you there. Free support for life online at awaken180weightloss.com.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Man, the NHL did it absolutely right. They put together an international best-on-best tournament, called it the Four Nations, and it was a humongous success, not just the viewership, but it also went into the sports betting realm, Ryan. And here's the deal. Like, when you go back to USA-Canada in their very first matchup, where USA won 3-1, it was a great game, fun to watch, probably the best hockey game of the season, at least that I've seen. The contest saw 13 times more bets than all of the 3-on-3 games that the NHL did last year combined, and 11 times more bets than an average NHL game this regular season. Now, the tournament was awesome. It was cool. It was best on best, as you've talked about. But the other reason why it was a humongous success, Ryan, was because people wanted to bet on it. And I really, truly believe this, because we'll get into the betting numbers for 2024 a little bit later on in the show. They're astronomical. People love to bet on sports. So if you can find an event like the Four Nations and have people bet on it, that goes a long way. Now, it was perfectly designed, but the fact that everybody wanted to bet on it also helped.
And what's crazy, Scotty, is you know how locked in I was to that tournament. I didn't even think about betting it until the championship game. And there was like one little single game parlay, with player props that I did. But it never even crossed my mind that you could bet on it. I mean, I know that's crazy because you can bet on everything, but I just never once thought of it. I was just so into it and enjoyed it that I never thought of that. But that's amazing that people not only were locked into the hockey, but they were locked into betting on that as well, and betting on your country for your country.
Well, you're a hardcore hockey fan, right?
I am.
And hardcore hockey fan was already going to be locked in, and I totally get that. But for casual hockey fan, or even just casual sports fan, the fact that this event became something that you could really bet on. And here's the difference, because obviously Major League Baseball has their all-star game, and that's better than what the NFL does. It's better because people still remotely care, I think, about the Major League Baseball all-star game. The NFL, it's a mess. They tried the flag football, whatever. And the NBA is probably even worse. Like, that's probably the worst of them all as far as the all-star game, because the dunk contest is now generally 4 guys that most people have never even heard of.
Aren't even NBA players.
And the three-point contest is kind of a mess, too. So the fact that NHL did this, how do you replicate this going forward in other sports? Now, I heard you and on Bishop and Friends earlier in the week kind of talking about this, and you kind of talked about how you do it. You have to have it best on best. I want to throw one other idea out at you. It's a football version of an all-star game, and I'm going to get into those details next. This is On the Money.
The most qualified doctors to care for your feet.
February is Children's Dental Health Month, so make sure you make an appointment for your child to visit an Ohio Dental Association member dentist. ODA member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and have access to superior ongoing education and training. On your next visit, ask if your child's dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit oda.org.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
February is Children's Dental Health Month, so make sure you make an appointment for your child to visit an Ohio Dental Association member dentist. ODA member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and have access to superior ongoing education and training. On your next visit, ask if your child's dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit oda.org.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
So that Four Nations hockey tournament was amazing, and I think that it brought in a lot of the casual sports fans, not just hockey fans, the casual sports fans, because it was a great event to bet on as well. And I know for me, I love to bet on it as well. I bet on that final game. And so it made it a little bit more interesting. It was awesome. No, because of course I bet on Team USA. I didn't go crazy, right? I wasn't going to bet on Canada.
Yeah.
All right.
You can't do that.
No. So here's the deal. I think it did bring in a lot of the casual sports fans who like to just bet on different events. Now, my thought process for football and basketball is how can we come up with a tournament that people would care about, that the players would actually really, really buy into? Because the whole thing is you've got to have your players all in. Right. And they were for this Four Nations.
Yes. And
they're not for the NBA All-Star game or any of the festivities or anything like that. So my thought process, and I want you to maybe shoot holes in this idea.
I like this.
Yeah, I know you do. is I think that it would be a cool idea if what we did was we took a little tournament where we had players represent the high school that they played college basketball, or I'm sorry, that they played high school basketball in. So you are representing your state. We do a little bit of a tournament where it could be Ohio high school kids versus Indiana versus Michigan versus Florida versus California, all that. And so you are representing your state. And then you got to put a lot of money on the line, but there's a lot of pride, I think, in people and where they came from. And so representing the state where they grew up, I think makes sense.
And you're talking about basketball for this, right?
This is a basketball tournament where, of course, you would have to do it over a few days. But I think it would be a cool little maybe week-long tournament where you are representing your state going forward.
So the only thing I think might be tough with that is, do you get the best versus the best? Because when you go like Team USA versus Team Canada in hockey, you may not have the best 40 players in the world out there, but you've got 40 of the best players in the world. And I don't know if you're going to get that in basketball, so to say, with like, is the Ohio team, which, you know, the Ohio, maybe that's not the way we want to go because you're going to have LeBron James and you're going to be right there. But some states aren't going to have the best players.
Sure.
So you're almost going to get an Olympic type thing where you have some countries in there where you know they have no shot.
Right.
And I don't think you can have that. Like, even in this tournament, this hockey tournament, the USA and Canada were the favorites, but Sweden and Finland were formidable teams, and those were great games.
Yeah.
I don't think you're going to get great games in every game of that scenario.
But we didn't have all the best players in the world in this Four Nations tournament either. Right.
But you had
a majority
but you had
of
most
the best.
of the best. And that's what I'm saying. Like, sure, you're never going to have all of the best because you don't have Russia. And maybe Canada, maybe some of Canada's B team would be better than a few players at the end of the roster on a Finland. But for the most part, that was the best players in the world. And I don't think you get that if you do that the other way.
I get that. I just think that there would be a lot of state pride, state by state by state, if you did a basketball tournament where, again, this is taking whatever high school you represented, whatever state you are from, you're taking that pool of players and you're doing like an Ohio alumni team, right? And versus an Indiana and a Michigan, and you represent all these states and you do it over a week, maybe a week and a half. I think that would be a cool idea that might draw attention and maybe interest from these top basketball players. And again, you got a lot of basketball players from around the world who would be left out of this thing.
I think it's a cool idea, and I think it would be fun, but I don't think you would get the interest at the high level like I think you did with that. Now, the best thing to do to me would be maybe do a best of 5 series or best of 7 between the United States and the rest of the world in the NBA basketball, because I think that you would have some banger games, and that would be fun. And I think you could get the guys to really buy into that and want to do that.
That is a good one. Let me throw one more out at you, and I'm going to go a football version of this one. And again, getting the players to buy in, that's the whole key of this whole thing. But we know there's a little rivalry between Big Ten and SEC, right? Those are the two behemoths. Those are the two conferences that produce the most and the best players in the NFL. What if we did a little all-star game that was Big Ten alumni versus SEC alumni? So it's after the Super Bowl's over, the Pro Bowl, and I know that's going to eliminate players that were good from the Big 12 and, you know, the ACC and stuff like that. But I understand. But the rivalry developing with the SEC versus the Big Ten so good. What if you put together a little rivalry after the end of the NFL season of former SEC players versus former Big Ten players?
I think that would be great. Do you get the buy-in from the players where they're going to go out there and play 100%? And then it was one of the worries with the Four Nations as well. And like, if you're the Boston Bruins right now, you don't dislike the Four Nations maybe, but you hate that your best defenseman is out for, maybe he's going to be out for a while, it seems like. Could be maybe the rest of the season. You've heard some rumors on that, but are NFL owners going to be okay with the guys that they've put millions of dollars into playing in something like this and possibly getting hurt?
Yep.
That's where you may have a big pump the brakes is from the NFL owners.
Buy-in is key, and we need a big pot of money to get these players to buy in.
Money talks, baby.
Speaking of a lot of money, the sports betting numbers in 2024 were absolutely insane. The industry is exploding. We give you the unbelievable numbers and where sports betting is going from here. That is next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is a dream come true for a sports fan. 2 massive TV walls with over 50 feet of screen will blow you away. Watch and place wagers on hoops, hockey, golf, baseball, the draft, UFC, and more this spring. The food's outstanding, and every seat is the best seat in the house. Over 30 kiosks means no wait on getting your wager in at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Our double hung is as good as it gets. There's something really simple. It's called an interlock. We interlock our windows. The interlock is the absolute best way to alleviate air infiltration. With the interlock, it's harder to break into. When you interlock the sashes, it makes a better window. It's just a darn good window, and we're very proud of it.
Call Rizzotti today at 777-4806.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell furnaces instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
For the Blue Jackets, the magic happens on the ice. But for Blue Jackets fans looking for an amazing getaway, the real Florida magic is here in Central Florida's Polk County. From the natural beauty of Bok Tower Gardens to the all-ages fun at Legoland Florida Resort to the chance to do some luxurious glamping on a working dude ranch, it's all here. Even better, it's all just minutes from other area theme parks, too. Discover everything we offer and plan your trip to see the real Florida at visitcentralflorida.com today.
The Fan, Ohio sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
Welcome back to On the Money, the sports gambling show. And guys, I got to give you these numbers because they were absolutely ridiculous. The American sports betting industry posted a record $13.71 billion in 2024 revenue. That's up from $11 billion in 2023. And legal sports books took nearly $150 billion worth of bets. $150 billion worth of bets, Ryan, which is a 22% increase from 2023. And I want you to take a guess now. How many states do you believe have legalized sports betting in the United States? How many states are legal?
I'd probably say it's a good majority now, but maybe not as many as I would think. I'll say 35.
No, good guess. Good guess. 38 states now.
Do you have the ones that aren't, that have not yet?
Not in front of me. I know some of the big ones.
I know Texas hasn't yet.
Correct. And California hasn't yet. So imagine these numbers.
Has Florida yet?
I don't believe Florida has yet either.
I hope they do by July.
You know what? I read that I think there's only one state expected to be added in 2025, and I want to say it was Missouri. I'll double check on that, but I don't believe that Florida does.
I think Missouri may have already or just did. I believe they did at the beginning of the year.
Okay.
And the reason I know that is my friend who came in town that lives in Kansas City, he has a buddy that lived on the Missouri side, so he would always have to place his bets for his buddy, and he doesn't have to do that anymore. And my buddy just moved from the Kansas side to the Missouri side of Kansas City, and it was like just in time for him as well. So.
Boy, it makes me think back to a few years ago. We used to take this show on the road. Dave and I would go to Lawrenceburg, Indiana, because that's where you could legally place bets. They would have us go to the Hollywood Casino over there, and we would place bets, and we did live shows from over there. It's just amazing to think that you had to cross state lines to get bets in, but still, despite the fact that those numbers that I just read off, which was legal sports books took nearly $150 billion worth of bets. And the crazy thing is we're still at just 38 states, and some of those huge ones like California and Texas still do not have sports betting. So it's a business that keeps booming, but it's going to continue to get bigger and bigger as we go. And I'm at the point now, Ryan, where it feels like, and I'm going to take this workplace as an example. We work here at the sports radio station, so obviously there's a lot of sports gamblers. But what amazes me is the casual fans, how many of them are now betting on sports. It just becomes a conversation with just about anyone at the office where, I could talk to a 50-year-old lady in sales who is betting on Blue Jacket games. Yeah. I could talk to a 24-year-old sales assistant who's like betting on Ohio State basketball. And it's just amazing to me that sports betting is so widespread now, whereas 3, 4, 5 years ago, that wasn't the case. It was just like a certain number of people that were betting. Now it feels like a high percentage of people are betting out there.
And it's just, it's just the accessibility, right? Like if you aren't a hardcore, diehard gambler like you probably weren't going to find the Bovadas or whatever overseas online account, that you're destroying their profit on golf betting, making them change the rules. But it's just when it's more accessible, it's almost like McDonald's. When there's one on every corner, you're more apt to go grab a cheeseburger when you're a little hungry rather than just go home and make something yourself. Here's the real question, though, with all of these numbers. $150 billion in bets coming in the 13.71 in revenue. Mm-hmm. How much of that money, how many of those billions were Scotty Vegas bets? And then how much of their profit did you take a dent of? That's not enough. These are the true questions that everybody wants to know.
The crazy thing, too, by the way, the fourth quarter of 2024 was actually the industry's best quarter on record at $3.66 billion. And this was despite the fact that a lot of the NFL favorites in the fourth quarter were coming through. And so the betting public was winning at historic rates, yet the industry was still making a lot of money just because of the number of people that are doing it. I did have a question for you now. At this point, because you're relatively new to the regular sports betting world, I want to ask you, how many times do you sit down and watch a sporting event where you do not have a little bit of cash on that game that you're watching?
Quite a bit.
So you still watch a lot of games that you don't place bets on.
And like I mentioned, I watched all of that Four Nations and made one bet in the championship game. There is a lot. Now, during the NFL is a little different. Like I don't bet a lot of college basketball because I'm not all into it. I don't bet a bunch of NBA because I don't watch it. Like right now, my betting consists of UFC and NHL, mostly Blue Jackets, because that's what I'm really into. That's what I know the most of. I don't have to just bet on a game to make it interesting to me. So I'm not there yet, which is a good thing that I don't do that. But yeah, so I'm not like football. That's when a majority of my betting happens is during the football season.
Yeah, I'm at the point where I would probably say 95% of the sports that I watch, I will have had a bet on, which is why I do believe these sports betting leagues have to keep catering towards the sports bettor because that draws more and more eyeballs and more people in.
And it definitely makes it more fun. Like when you and Dave and I all had that night at the casino and we're sitting there and all those different games are on and we've got bets on and everything, that does make it more fun. But yeah, I'm not there yet with being all in and having to bet everything. And like you bet golf every week. Golf started in January. It ends in October. Every week you're betting on it. I'm only a majors golf guy.
I get it. One thing that I hope a lot of people didn't bet on was Ohio State hoops against Northwestern, because that was a disaster. Is this Ohio State hoops basketball team and their tournament hopes dead? It ain't over yet. We have a therapy session next on the Money.
This is Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
At Diamonds Direct, we believe luxury is an experience and not a price tag. Luxury is expert guidance. It's the selection of 10 jewelry stores under one roof. It's saving time on endless comparison shopping. And you'll only find this experience at Diamonds Direct. Our luxury showroom has it all backed by our lifetime warranties and our signature best price guarantee. Diamonds Direct is the perfect combination of luxury and value, so you don't ever have to compromise. Learn more at diamondsdirect.com. Diamonds Direct, your love, our passion.
At Logan Services, we know how important your home comfort is, and that's why we're proud to offer free HVAC inspections. Through our free inspection, you'll get a thorough assessment of your heating and cooling system to identify any potential issues that can impact your home, your energy bills, and even your health. The assessment is free and only takes an hour of your time. It's the fast, friendly service that you've come to expect from our team at Logan Services.
Hey friends, Beamer here, and by the time that you're hearing this message, I'll be down 50 pounds. That is 50. I recorded this last Thursday when I was down 48 pounds, and yep, I've probably already hit 50 by now. That's how fast Awaken 180 works. Now, how many hours of working out did it take? How many parties did I have to skip? Not that I party anyways, but how many did I have to skip? None. How many injections did I have to take? None. Zero. Nada. I did it by eating to lose weight with Awaken 180. That's it. Just over 2 months, I've dropped 50 pounds without making my life miserable. Maybe you're rocking a XXX like me, size 40 pant. Maybe you're swimming in your XXXs and thinking about what life would feel like in an XL. I promise you, if I can do this, so can you. Awaken 180 is simple. The coaches are awesome, and the results come quick when you're doing it the correct way. It's not only about hoping to lose weight, it's about knowing that you will. Awaken 180 Weight Loss makes it simple. You can get started and see for yourself. Reserve your consultation today at awaken180weightloss.com. That's awaken180weightloss.com.
Winter's here, and as the snow begins to pile up outside, you might find yourself dreaming of warmer days, sunshine, barbecues, fishing, maybe even thinking about those home projects you've been putting off for forever. Why wait for spring to start planning? Now's the perfect time to get ahead. With so many roofing, gutter, and siding companies out there, it can feel overwhelming to know where to begin. With over 30 years of experience and a focus on every detail, Newman Roofing makes it simple. As a family-owned business, they're dedicated to delivering an outstanding customer experience from your first phone call all the way through to the final touches on your home. When it comes to roofing, gutters, and siding, trust the name that's been a local favorite for decades, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
The Fan. Ohio sports destination. You're listening to Hollywood Casinos On the Money. On the Money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
On ONN.
Not gonna lie, I don't get that depressed watching sports games that often, but I gotta tell you, that Ohio State Northwestern game this week, that was brutal. And look, Ohio State is playing for everything at this point, right? They're trying to get into the tournament. And that was the goal, I think, at the start of the season. I think that was the expectations for this Ohio State basketball team, was this should be a tournament team. Talent-wise, this is a tournament team. Well, right now, Ohio State Hoops is sitting at 15-12 overall, 7-9 in the Big Ten. And unfortunately, that loss to Northwestern was the first one all season long where you look at it and like, this is a terrible loss. Not only was Ohio State playing to try and get into the tournament. They were playing a Northwestern team that was shorthanded, and it looked like, Ryan, that basketball team for Ohio State kind of quit. I really, I don't remember too many situations where I turned Ohio State hoops off early. I really don't. But with 8 minutes to go, I had to turn the game off. I was so frustrated.
Good on Adam Jardy of the Columbus Dispatch, by the way, after the game asking that question. And also good for Micah Parrish for saying, no, next question, let's move on. I'm going to call BS, though, on the statement that you just made here. And not that you weren't depressed watching that Northwestern game, because I'm pretty sure you were probably manic at that point, knowing you and your love for Buckeye hoops. I've seen you get pretty depressed watching sports a lot. I feel like I had to pick you up off the floor when Notre Dame went on that opening drive in the national championship game. Now, I know there were extenuating circumstances there, but you are definitely riding the highs and lows of your sports teams all the time. And unfortunately, there's a lot of lows with this Buckeye basketball team. Not even the past few seasons. I can't believe it's been since 2012 that they've made it to a Sweet 16. And there was a lot of momentum, it felt like, with this Buckeye basketball team here. But, man, that loss to Northwestern just kicked you in the gut and took all the air out of it. That was brutal. That hockey game, Four Nations final game, couldn't start fast enough to turn that game off and move on. I knew that Four Nations game wasn't going to start till 8:20, 8:25. 8 o'clock, I turned it over to see the pregame and the national anthems and all of that, because there was just no reason to watch that Buckeye basketball game anymore.
Yeah. So Ohio State lost that one by 21. Again, the arena was sad, right? I mean, it was just one of those where it was half full, and then, in the last 10 minutes, it was about a fourth full. And it was one that you just look at, and it was shocking just how bad they played. I think I made a comment to some people that, to me, this looked like mid-90s Ohio State basketball. Like some of the names from back then, Doug Etzler and Antonio Watson and Jamie Bosley and Rick Ute, and that era of Ohio State. Yeah, that era of Ohio State, Jamie Bosley, that era of Ohio State basketball, which was just depressing. But gosh, you're losing by 21 at home when you just have so much to play for against Northwestern. That puts you up against it now, because now Ohio State is on the road at UCLA, and then they'll play at USC. And here's the deal. Today, Ohio State's a 6.5-point underdog to UCLA. I was looking at the bracket projections, and the bracket projections still somehow mostly have Ohio State in the tournament. Okay, which I was surprised by. I thought after the loss to Northwestern that they would drop far enough that they would probably be on the wrong side of the bubble. But right now, Ryan, if you look at the projections, they're still projected as one of those last 5 or 6 teams in the tournament. But you have to win one of these road games at UCLA or at USC.
Yeah, and it starts today, right? You got to wash that taste out of your mouth, go out there, prove everybody, hey, we're not quitting on this season. We're still here. We're going to go for this. Hopefully they're a little healthier today, because who knows? You had some players out, even a coach out from that last game. Who knows if Mobley and Royal were feeling the effects of that too, because they both had bad games and they've been pretty good this year. But yeah, you gotta reverse the momentum here today.
Yeah, the killer too, thinking about it with that Ohio State loss to Northwestern, is you had that devastating loss against Michigan where you were right. You had the opportunity. You had the look to send that thing into overtime, and then, you lose that one. But from a betting perspective, real quick, when you have an embarrassing loss like that, a lot of times that next game you show up. I will tell you that I did that where Kansas basketball got absolutely embarrassed and blown out during the week against BYU. So what did I do? I bet Kansas basketball in the next game, and they come away with a big win yesterday. All right, when we come back, Ross Bjork talked about playoff expansion. He's for it. Are we? That is next on The Money.
More of Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
Coming up on ONN.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move. A pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
We plant trees because people need trees, and when planted in the right place, they have great impact. Trees help slow climate change, filter our air and water, foster biodiversity, and strengthen our communities. They create the kind of transformational change the world needs now. April is a month filled with opportunities to care for and plant trees. For planting resources, contact an Ohio ISA certified arborist who can help you learn how to take the best care of your trees. Visit trees4ohio.org. That's trees4ohio.org.
Ohio has over 920,000 diabetics. If you are a diabetic, take a step in the right direction by having your feet checked routinely by a podiatric physician, the most qualified doctors to care for your feet. Adding a podiatrist to your healthcare team can help you better manage the effects of diabetes on your feet. Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association podiatric physicians are located throughout the state. For more information or to find a member of the Ohio Foot and Ankle Medical Association near you, visit ohiofoot.org.
February is Children's Dental Health Month, so make sure you make an appointment for your child to visit an Ohio Dental Association member dentist. ODA member dentists are located throughout the state and are dedicated to providing the highest quality dental care, are bound by the highest ethical standards, and have access to superior ongoing education and training. On your next visit, ask if your child's dentist is a member of the Ohio Dental Association and American Dental Association, so you know you're being treated by the best. To find an ODA dentist in your area, visit ODA.org.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination. Now back to Hollywood Casinos on the money. On the money.
Presented by Ohio for Responsible Gambling.
From ONN.
So, Ohio State Athletic Director Ross Bjork came out, and he is for more playoff expansion. We know we were at 12 teams this last season, and now there's talk about in the next year or two going to 14 or 16 teams. And in my opinion, I'm for it. Because, guys, to me, more teams in means more content, more games to watch, more games to bet. And for me, it means there's going to be more relevant games and teams in the regular season. I'm for it. I'm okay with it. Ryan, you hate it. Why?
You already know my answer. Because, and we saw it this year in the first round games, right? None of the first round games were competitive games, correct?
That's because there was a seeding issue.
I mean, I don't know if the seeding issue changes that, quite frankly.
I think it does.
And listen, there are not 12 teams that are deserving of winning a national championship. Like this year, we had a 12-team playoff, right? I'm pretty sure we thought there was only 4, maybe 5 teams that could win that tournament. I just don't think there are enough teams that are good enough to be playing for a national championship or even have the shot. I think we talked about this, that sometimes more isn't better.
It is. It is in this case.
And you water your program. You water your product down a little bit.
Nope.
And like we saw that this year with
Made it better.
Those first round games, they weren't good games. They weren't competitive.
I watched them. I
fun.
loved them.
Sure, we're going to watch them. There's no doubt we're going to watch them. Anytime Ohio State is in a game, we're going to watch them. Anytime Georgia, Texas, the fans are going to watch them. Doesn't mean it's better. And I don't like it because there's not in college football enough teams that are national championship level.
Well, they're expanding again. And here's the deal for me. I'm okay with more teams because I really, truly believe that it makes more relevant. The thing is, for more relevant of a regular season. I think when we went from 4 to 12, there were a lot more games and a lot more teams that I was interested in watching late in the year in November because they were still in the playoff hunt.
But that doesn't mean they were good enough to win a national championship.
They weren't going to win a national championship, but I watched SMU Clemson. I watched the ACC championship game because I knew the winner, and turns out also the loser, was going to get into the playoff. And in a normal season, I'm not watching a second of that game because it would have been completely irrelevant.
And listen, I get it. Like, we're going to watch. The NCAA tournament is super popular. It's a great TV. It's great to watch for those 3-4 weeks there. But it's the worst way ever to crown a champion.
You're crazy.
It may be fun and it may be interesting, but it's the worst way ever to crown a champion.
Giving everybody an opportunity to get hot at the end of the season and win it all.
That doesn't mean you're the best team, though. Like, you know what I mean?
Best team at the right time, right?
Yeah, I know. I'd rather have the best team win. Okay. That's what I want.
See, I love the idea of expansion because it's more games, more we can bet on. Yes. All right, that is the first hour of On the Money. When we come back, we're going to dive into what are the sporting events this spring that we're most excited to bet on. We're also going to talk a little bit more about what are the bets to make for this Sunday. That's the first hour of On the Money. We'll see you for hour number 2.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. GI Bill, SkillBridge, and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
The ESPN Bet Sportsbook at Hollywood Casino Columbus is a dream come true for a sports fan. 2 massive TV walls with over 50 feet of screen will blow you away. Watch and place wagers on hoops, hockey, golf, baseball, the draft, UFC, and more this spring. The food's outstanding, and every seat is the best seat in the house. Over 30 kiosks means no wait on getting your wager in at the ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Must be 21 or older to enter. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Giant Eagle is making it easy to surround yourself with the sound of freshness. With new low prices on hundreds of your favorite produce items, so you save on all the crunch, all the flavor, all the just-picked goodness you love. Surround yourself with savings every time you shop with new low prices on apples, carrots, lettuce, celery, and more. Enjoy fresh savings on fresh produce at your neighborhood Giant Eagle.
My house has a new glow. I love my windows. Universal Windows Direct.
Buy 2 windows, get 2 free, and there's no limit. Plus, no interest financing for 3 years. That's 36 months, people. And if you already have a price from another company, Universal Windows Direct will beat it. So you know you're getting the best deal around.
I love my windows. They've got that brand new home effect. Universal Windows Direct.
This is Pause Before You Play, and it's time for more game day picks from local sports fans. You're on the air. Who you got?
Actually, I'm not betting, just chilling and watching the game.
I know that move, a pause. Sounds like you've got a winning strategy.
Exactly. After I set limits and recognized the risk, I knew it was time to stop.
Now that is responsible betting, folks. Sports are fast. Betting shouldn't be. Make a plan at pausebeforeyouplay.org. That's pausebeforeyouplay.org.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
And I'm Cam Taylor. The Columbus Blue Jackets returned to action last night after over 2 weeks off the ice. CBJ beat the Chicago Blackhawks 5-1 at Nationwide Arena. Kent Johnson scored twice as Zach Werenski added a goal and 2 assists. Columbus Blue Jackets will take on the Dallas Stars on Tuesday at 7 p.m. The Columbus Crew started the 2025 season off with a 4-2 win over the Chicago Fire. The Crew will travel to New England to face the Revolution next Saturday at 7:30. The OSU men's basketball team is out west to take on UCLA at 3:45 p.m. Coverage will start on the Fan at 2:45 with the warm-up show. Cincinnati Reds defeated the Cleveland Guardians 6-3 in the first game of spring training yesterday. The Reds also played the Milwaukee Brewers, but lost 8-7. Cincinnati will play the San Francisco Giants today at 3:05, and the Guardians will face the Los Angeles Angels at 3:05 as well.
Scotty's kids don't ask how his day was. They ask if all his bets won. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
What a play, and welcome to On the Money, hour number 2. I'm Scotty Vegas. Filling in for Dave Biddle this morning is Ryan Baker, who is also a Cincinnati Reds fan. And I bring that up because our good friend Dave is out in Arizona, and he is enjoying a little Reds spring training baseball. He is going ballpark to ballpark and just watching his Reds. And he has talked about this as being a bucket list item for him. So we're excited for him that he is out in Arizona. He's been talking about this trip, I feel like, for the last 3 months. And this is how big of a Reds fan he is. He is out there. You've already done it. You say it's an amazing trip.
So fun.
I will say we are excited about Reds baseball and the start of Major League Baseball season. We've been talking about the different spring sports that we are all pumped for. For me, number 1 is going to be March Madness. Most excited to bet on March Madness. Number 2 is the Masters for me. I love those 4 days so much. I know there's a lot of issues in the game of golf right now, but it all gets right on those 4 days when they're playing at Augusta, the best course in the world with the best players, with the best TV coverage. And then number 3 for me, honestly, is spring football. I can't wait to see what we can see with this Ohio State football team and following all the stories out of spring ball with Julian saying.
It's tough for me to be excited for spring football when I know we're not going to have a spring game. It's just kind of weird. And I know we really haven't had spring games for a long time, but we're going to have the spring showcase. I wonder if they called it the spring showcase as a shot at Matt Rule, who said he didn't want to do a spring game to showcase his players. But there's a lot of, and you know what's crazy? I was talking to a friend the other night. Brennan Gulick was in town. He covers the Buckeyes for SI, and him and I went out to dinner Friday night, catching up. And he was talking about how he has a crazy next month. We both do. I've got high school tournaments. He's got like Division II and Division III college tournaments and stuff that he's doing. He was actually in town because he was calling the Big Ten swimming and diving. But he was like, yeah, from now until March 27th, like my schedule was just so full. And I was like, we're like a month away from spring football.
Yeah.
They just quit playing, it seems like, and we've got spring football coming up in less than a month.
Love it. The other thing that I love is the Parlay Party. Cam, hit it. All right. The Parlay Party is where we celebrate whatever it is in the world of sports that we want to celebrate. Dave has already phoned in that he is celebrating the fact that he is in amazing weather in Arizona.
Goodyear, Arizona.
So that is Dave's Parlay Party. But Ryan, what are you celebrating on this Sunday morning?
Well, first and foremost, Scotty, I'm celebrating that I'm back on the money today. You know, we unfortunately we don't have the 3-man wolf pack here, but there's 2 of us, and very excited for Dave that he gets to go out there to spring training. Speaking of the Reds, I'm excited The tickets are purchased.
Yes!
I was in your office the other day, and you went ahead and purchased the tickets for our trip to the Reds game. It is April 2nd. They're taking on the Texas Rangers. It's a little businessman special day. We're going to be down there sitting front row in right field. Hopefully, we're catching Ellie De La Cruz home run balls. It is going to be a good time. Listen, I'm still loving the momentum the NHL has right now from this Four Nations tournament, rolling that into the Stadium Series coming up. Got to go over to the Shoe this week, see some of the beginnings of that, see the ice trucks that are going to be filling that ice here real soon. It's really cool seeing that taking shape over there at the Shoe. And how about those jackets last night? Not only do they return, you get the captain, Boone Jenner, back for the first time all year. Kirill Marchenko, somehow less than a month, 3 weeks from breaking his jaw, back on the ice last night. Zach Werenski comes back, 3 points in his return from the Four Nations. And I had a nice little parlay last night on that Jackets game that hit for me. And there's nothing like turning $10 into $143, my friend.
Ooh, a little like 13-1 action.
Yeah, it was nice. What are you celebrating?
Well, I love the fact that you got that parlay. Now, I did look at the Blue Jackets' odds to make the playoffs this morning because I knew with you hosting that we were going to be talking some Blue Jacket hockey. They are plus 450 to make that playoff run. So hopefully they can get in. What I'm celebrating this morning is, first off, the fact that I coach my daughter's basketball team, 4th, 5th, 6th grade girls, and we finished the season 7-0, and now we are making our way to the championship game. Now, I'm a little worried because I saw the betting line on the championship game, and we're a 14.5-point favorite, so major odds on youth basketball, but I feel like our team can get it done. But the other thing I'm celebrating is I did hit a nice little college basketball parlay yesterday. It was a 7-1. I know. I was saving it for the parlay party. It was a 7-1 hit. What happened was I called up my buddy and I said, all right, we got a lot of hoops action today. Let's put one of these parlays together. He's who I'm going to Vegas with in about 2 weeks. And all right, let's prep for some college basketball parlays with one for today. And so we put it together and I was like, let's keep it relatively reasonable. Let's make it a 6-1 parlay. So I placed the parlay. And, throughout the day, good things are happening. It ends up hitting. I call up my buddy to celebrate, and he's like, yeah, I'm a little greedy. I threw 2 more things into that parlay. I threw Gonzaga on the money line, and they lost outright. And I'm like, you are so greedy. Like, we had a 6-1 parlay built, yet you wanted to make it a 15-1 parlay, and it lost. So while we should be celebrating, I'm going to celebrate, and you, unfortunately, got too greedy and lost. All right.
So 6-1, 7-legger.
Yeah.
I had about a 10-1, 7-legger last night.
We
but
should have put those together.
Boost. Man, that would have been nice. I'd have paid big money.
I will say I did place a couple futures bets this morning with that winnings from yesterday. I did place a futures bet because watching college basketball yesterday, I really believe there's a separation with Auburn and Duke and everybody else. Okay, if you watch Duke play, Duke just absolutely destroyed Illinois. Illinois is a very talented team. It was a neutral site game at Madison Square Garden, and Duke was awesome. So I got a futures ticket on Duke, and I got a futures ticket on Auburn. And what I did is I started placing those with Masters winners. So I've got Duke with Ludwig Oberg, and I've got and I took Auburn with Scotty Scheffler. So those are my 2 futures bets. They end up making some pretty good money if you put both of those together. And I did want to, though, Ryan, do a little sports betting quiz for you. These are all football-related betting questions. And you and I were just talking about during the break that you wanted to place a futures bet on Clemson to win the national championship. You saw it at 20-1. Give me the reasoning why you believe Clemson is a good futures bet to win it all for next year.
So if you look at most of the favorites here, if you're looking at ESPN Bet right now, Ohio State's the favorite, Texas number 2, Georgia number 3, Oregon number 4, Penn State 5, Notre Dame 6, and you've got Alabama, Tennessee, LSU. Penn State in that top 5 is the only one of those teams returning a starting quarterback. Now, Arch Manning's played a little bit with Texas, but it's never been his show, right? All of those teams have uncertainty at quarterback, and we know quarterback is the most important position in football right now. Clemson last year, they'd get beat by Georgia bad in the opener, and we kind of pushed them aside. But they came back and actually had a pretty good season. They've changed their philosophy a little bit with NIL and transfer portal. Dabo is one of 3 head coaches in college football that has made it to the pinnacle and won a national championship. And I don't think anybody realizes how good of a year Cade Klubnik had last year as Clemson's quarterback. 3,300 yards. I believe it's 38 touchdowns. I need to look on that, but only 6 picks. He had a really strong year, a Heisman-type year at quarterback for Clemson, and he's returning. I just think for the value, and they are 20-1, they have a returning quarterback and an experienced head coach. You know those things matter in football to me. I bet on head coaches and quarterbacks, and I just think, yeah, there were some issues with Dabo the past couple years, but I think he's realized things, and he's changed a little bit. That ACC isn't that tough. Clemson's got a pretty good schedule here. I like Clemson at 20-1. I think that's worth a shot.
So can I tell you, I love that bet. You like completely convinced me. You also convinced some of our YouTube chat. Nate says you could argue Clemson has the best quarterback and coach combo heading into next season, and I think that's fair. And I know you briefly touched on this, but the ACC sucks, right? The ACC is absolute garbage. And so Clemson has a great chance to win the conference. And based on the seeding, if the seeding doesn't change for next season, that would also, you go and you win the ACC, that would put you in the top 4 seeds, right? So you're in a good opportunity. So I'm with you on the 20-1. You've convinced me to place that bet.
And look at their schedule. Probably a pretty tough game to start with LSU, and LSU has Garrett Nussmeier coming back, so they have an experienced quarterback.
Who's a Heisman favorite.
They have an experienced quarterback as well. Troy at Georgia Tech, Syracuse at North Carolina, at Boston College, SMU. The Ponies may be something you've got to look at. That's at home. Duke, Florida State, at Louisville, Furman, and then at South Carolina.
No Notre Dame on there.
No Notre Dame on there. So they've got 3 games that maybe you could consider tough games with LSU, SMU, and then that South Carolina game at the end of the year.
Yeah, gosh, it's very rare that I can get behind taking a bet on a long shot or a longer shot. Basically what I'm saying is a double-digit odds team to win the national championship in college football, because it just doesn't happen. It is consistently, if you are outside of the single digits in college football, as far as the betting odds to start the year, you're not winning at all, except for that LSU team with Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, and that team was the exception. They were like 20, 25-1 preseason and won it all. But other than that, it's all single-digit teams that are winning the championship.
Next year's a crapshoot, though, because of the quarterback position. Because like we talked about, most of these teams that are at the top of the betting odds have uncertainty and unknowns at quarterback.
Hey, I've got this quiz. It's got a lot of good, tough football-related betting questions. Let's get to that next on The Money.
We have so many local shows, I can't fit them in a 10-second promo. So let's just say we're live and local all damn day. The Fan.
Winter's here, and as the snow begins to pile up outside, you might find yourself dreaming of warmer days, sunshine, barbecues, fishing, maybe even thinking about those home projects you've been putting off for forever. Why wait for spring to start planning? Now's the perfect time to get ahead. With so many roofing, gutter, and siding companies out there, it can feel overwhelming to know where to begin. With over 30 years of experience and a focus on every detail, Newman Roofing makes it simple. As a family-owned business, they're dedicated to delivering an outstanding customer experience from your first phone call all the way through to the final touches on your home. When it comes to roofing, gutters, and siding, trust the name that's been a local favorite for decades, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. 614-NEW-ROOF or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from classic 3-cheese, pepperoni, or extreme meat pizza. Save big with the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 3/4/25. See app for full terms.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, your favorite drafts are poured at a frosty 29 degrees, and rare barrel-aged whiskeys are served just the way you want them. It's bigger game days and bolder fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that always comes in clutch every day from lunch to late night? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Hit a home run for happy hour and ask your Twin Peaks girl about local specials on drafts, cocktails, shots, and more.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell furnaces instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
We have a lot of football happening. I'm here to help. Set your radio preset to the Fan. Very good. Now set a second one to ESPN Columbus. It's the HD2 button. Lastly, go to the Fan's HD3 and save the Fan 3. Crisis averted. You're welcome.
It's time for the biggest series of the year. Ohio State men's ice hockey takes on that team up north in the last home series of the regular season on Thursday, February 27th and Friday, February 28th. Get your tickets to this huge rivalry matchup at ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
It's really been amazing, the amount of people that I've had contact me, and the talk is generally centered around QC Kinetics, and whether it's a knee, whether it's a back, a hip, shoulder.
He's always happy to talk about how QC Kinetics all-natural regenerative treatments finally gave him relief without surgery. That's former pro football player Bobby Carpenter.
My message to them is do not wait and push off a week, a month, whatever it is. So if you want to feel better this summer, now would be the time to get in. If you want to feel better in the fall, make sure that you're getting in here so you can go out and play golf and do the things that you love and enjoy.
Spoken by a man who experienced relief firsthand. QC Kinetics gave this former pro athlete back his mobility, his activity, and they'll do the same for you.
Has really helped me in just my general quality of life.
Don't wait. Call QC Kinetics for your free consultation today. QC Kinetics.
Call QC Kinetics, 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
At Planet Fitness, we're declaring it. This is the year of getting stronger. And future stronger you can get started now by saving $28 or more when you join today. You in? We have all the best-in-class equipment you could ever need to keep stepping it up. And free fitness training to help you mix up your routine. Plus, most clubs are open 24 hours. So let's do this. Join Planet Fitness today and save $28 or more. Just $1 down, $15 a month, cancel anytime. Deal ends February 28th. See Home Club for details.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Time now to get a look at your weather for today. Lots of sunshine. It'll feel like a heat wave. Today's high around 40. Tonight we drop on down to 28. Monday, partly cloudy with a high of 49. I'm meteorologist Dylan Robichaud with your 10 TV weather impact forecast on 97.1 The Fan.
Bo Bishop is a media legend. We have no idea where the other guys came from. Bishop and Friends.
Weekdays from 9 to noon.
The Fan. Dave Biddle caught trying to bet on office ping pong matchups. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sportsbook of ESPN. What a play.
So the last thing that I thought I would be doing this morning is placing bets on Clemson to win the national championship. But you have been very convincing as far as the quarterback and coach arguments. And we were kind of breaking down the top 5, top 10 teams as far as the odds go to win the national championship next year. And there's a lot of guys, a lot of teams that have to replace a lot of guys, including Ohio State, and a lot of new quarterbacks across the board. Penn State is one that we looked at that is bringing back their quarterback. But for the most part, you look at the teams pretty much in the top 5, top 10, they're all replacing quarterbacks. So that is an interesting thing. And you said Cade Klubnik is 20 to 1 to win the Heisman?
12 to 1 to win the Heisman. He's third in the odds, tied with Jeremiah Smith. Right now at ESPN Bet, Arch Manning number 1 at 7 to 1. Garrett Nussmeier, who we mentioned for LSU, 8 to 1, and then Klubnik and Jeremiah Smith.
And I got a little Jeremiah Smith right after the national championship game. It was posted at 25 to 1, and I grabbed it right away.
And you had him at 150 to 1 last year, correct?
I did.
You went on that.
Yeah.
So you're 2 years in a row we're going this way.
Let's go. That was the big bet. After I won the huge money on Ohio State winning the national championship, I wanted to reinvest in some betting opportunities. And to me, Jeremiah Smith, 25 to 1 Heisman odds when they first came out were ridiculous. So I placed some of the money on that. All right, I'm going to ask you a few different NFL-related sports betting questions.
See how we do.
We were looking at college football last segment. Let's look NFL this one. Now, you talked about teams that have single-digit odds to win the national championship in college football. Give me the 5 teams that have single-digit odds to win the Super Bowl next season.
The Philadelphia Eagles.
Yep.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Mm-hmm.
The Buffalo Bills. The Baltimore Ravens.
One more. Can you pull it?
I wouldn't think it's the Bengals, although I love Joe Burrow, and I think he would be. Is it an AFC or NFC?
NFC. Got the Eagles, got the Chiefs, got the Ravens, got the Bills.
I can't see it being the 49ers because the uncertainty with Dabo. Is it the Detroit Lions, I would think, would have to be in
there. You go. It's the Detroit Lions. They also have single-digit odds. Those are your 5 teams. And again, we talked about this before. Single-digit odds are winning the national championship in college football regularly. But we did just have an Eagles team that was not in the single digits win the Super Bowl this last year.
I got to do this for me real quick.
Yep.
Oh, I got to turn this on first.
Ding.
There we go.
Okay, which team has the best odds to land Justin Fields on their team next season? Who's Justin Fields gonna play for next year? Best odds.
So the first team that popped into my head was the Cleveland Browns, but I think I've got a better one.
Okay, I will tell you the Browns are not in the top 4 of the odds of where Fields is gonna play.
The New York Jets.
They are second on the list.
The Steelers are number 1 then.
The Steelers are the favorite at minus 165 for Fields to go back to Pittsburgh. You got the Jets at 2 to 1, Raiders 4 to 1, Rams 5 to 1.
Raiders. The Rams thing is so weird. There is so much smoke, right? That Matthew Stafford isn't going to be there. It's hard to believe that this isn't going to happen.
Yeah, that is interesting. All right, next one. If he's not on the Cleveland Browns, what team has the best odds to land Myles Garrett?
So this is a 2-horse race, I believe. It's either the Lions or the Bills. Oh, no, maybe it's the Commanders. Maybe the Commanders are in there. 3-team race. I'm going to say the Commanders.
Yep, that is correct. 3 to 1 that Myles Garrett will be playing for the Washington Commanders next year.
The Bills and Lions got to be there, right?
They're actually in the top 7.
Okay.
But number 2 is the Dallas Cowboys at 4 to 1. Chiefs are 6 to 1.
There's no way the Dallas Cowboys is happening just because of cap issues, right? They've got $60 million to Dak, Micah Parsons. There's no way that's happening.
Yeah, I wouldn't think so either. I think he'll be a Cleveland Brown. Do you believe that as well?
I do not, and I don't think he should be. Like, if he's
they need to move on.
If he's requested out, you don't have a quick fix. So having an unhappy Myles Garrett there doesn't help you at all, I don't believe.
Yeah, but the Commanders are the betting favorite to land Myles Garrett if he is not on the Cleveland Browns. All right, next question. Which team has the best odds to land Aaron Rodgers for next season? Where is Aaron playing?
Well, that's the Pittsburgh Steelers.
That is correct.
It's the Steelers and the Raiders, I would have to think, are 1-2, right?
Yep. Steelers are minus 175 to have Aaron Rodgers, and the Raiders are plus 125.
Okay.
Rams, 4-1. 49ers, 6-1.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
That's real interesting.
If you're a Steelers fan, and I know you're not. In fact, you hate the Steelers. But
I don't like black and yellow. It's gross. Sorry, Crew fans.
Would you be excited for Aaron Rodgers to be your quarterback?
No, not after what I've seen with this whole Jets debacle. And Aaron Rodgers at one point was one of my favorite football players to watch. I'm tired of him now, and I'm tired of the act, and I don't think the 1 year of him, because I don't think you're only getting 1 year of him, I don't think it's worth the distraction that comes with it. So if I'm the Steelers, I'd rather run it back with Russ or Fields and just hope we get our long-term solution somewhere here in the next year or two. The Aaron Rodgers experience to me is not, there's a point when the headaches, it's almost like Jim Harbaugh, right? Everywhere he's been, there's a lot of headaches. Like, he wins, but there's headaches, and people are almost glad when he's gone. Like, there's a point where the headaches and the results and the headaches, it's not worth it anymore. And I feel like that's where we are with Aaron Rodgers.
You know what we need to talk about next? Whether this Ohio State basketball team is going to make the NCAA tournament. That's going to be our next topic in This or That in 2 minutes. This is On the Money.
This is a Craver service announcement. Stop what you're doing and get 10 cheese sliders for a new low price of just $7.99. Your choice of melty American, spicy jalapeno, or cheddar cheese. Only $7.99 for 10 cheese sliders. White Castle. Follow your crave.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Right now, select varieties are buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Let me introduce y'all to my canes. We got chicken fingers. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce creamy rich. One love.
It's a different world today than it was 30 years ago when I started Care Heating and Cooling. This is Mike Weens, now the retired founder of Care Heating and Cooling with my sons, Dennis and Ryan.
Dad, 30 years ago, you were the first to warn of companies using service technicians as salespeople, of abusing the trust that a service technician has. With the big conglomerates now buying companies all over Central Ohio, this has become the normal business model.
It's all about greed. The conglomerates know they can make a lot more money by incentivizing their technicians to sell furnaces instead of fixing them. They train their techs to take advantage of a customer when they are the most vulnerable.
Dad, that is not how we were taught. In 2024, Care Heating and Cooling was awarded a BBB Torch Award for ethics and was named the Lennox Partner of the Year. You don't earn those awards by leaving cat toys behind.
Call Care Heating and Cooling at 1-800-COOLING or schedule an appointment online at careheatingandcooling.com. When you need a company you can trust.
During this 10-second promo, Rothman will lose money gambling on something.
People like you come here and blow the family nest egg that built this town.
Rothman and Ice.
Weekdays from noon to 3.
The Fan. Scotty Vegas has his own cot in the casino. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
All right, time to talk a little Ohio State hoops. Is this going to be a tournament team or not? And we'll find out in This or That. Hit it, Cam. right. This is a segment where you're either getting with this one thing or you're getting with that one thing. And my first one...
Or as Scotty Vegas does it, this or that or this, that, and the other. And
yeah, I do like to cheat in this segment a little bit. But this one is a very direct question. This or that. Ohio State is making the NCAA tournament. Yes or no?
Gosh, it's hard to say yes after that performance the other night, right?
Very hard.
We're recency bias is what we have. But the odds still say Ohio State is getting in this tournament. The schedule the rest of the way is not difficult. Now, unfortunately, 3 of your 4 games are on the road.
That's difficult.
Which sucks. But, you're not playing the upper echelon here of the Big Ten tournament. I'm going to say yes. Oh, this Ohio State team gets in the tournament today. Maybe tonight at 6 o'clock, I might have a different answer.
Yeah, and they are a 6.5-point underdog today at UCLA, a game you can hear, of course, right here on The Fan. I will tell you guys, so ESPN and CBS are the brackets that most people look at. Obviously, Joe Lunardi and Jerry Palm, 2 of the big names in the bracketology business. Well, ESPN right now has Ohio State as a tournament team. CBS does not have Ohio State as a tournament team. I'm a little worried, Ryan. 3 games on the road. I think if you could somehow go 2-2 in these 4 and maybe pick up 1 in the Big Ten tournament, you'll be in. I'm going to say they're going to find a way. Jake and the Buckeyes are going to find a way to get in, so I'm going to go yes. What about you, Cam?
No.
Oh. That was rough.
By the way, that Ohio State UCLA game today, 3:45 on CBS, and of course right here on The Fan. Timmy Hall and The Fan warm-up show comes your way at 2:45.
And look, I understand Cam's doubt. Look, I watched that Northwestern game, and it was one of the most ugly displays of basketball that I've seen in a very, very long time, with no effort in the second half.
Scotty, if you want to catch a quick flight out to L.A. after the shows, $24, you can get into the game today at the UCLA.
Well, how
Pavilion.
much is the flight?
I don't know. We'll use Southwest points. We'll be good. We can get out there.
I am going to Vegas on Southwest. So
there you go. My first one here. So we were talking about sporting events, 1 a year type sporting events that maybe you could have been to, you could go to. What would you want to do? And I have an underrated one here, but we've talking a lot of baseball too. So you can go to one. Are you going to go to the Little League World Series in Williamsport, or are you going to go to the College World Series out in Omaha?
That is a terrific question, Ryan Baker. I've never been more proud of your this or that questions than this one, because
it's been a while.
As a kid, I watched that Little League World Series all the time, and I'm like, that looks like so fun, that hill in the outfield and sliding down it. The College World Series atmosphere looks amazing, too. I think because... gosh, I would lean, because I watched more of this as a kid, I would lean Williamsport and the Little League World Series.
So you're right. The atmosphere, especially as an adult, going out to the College World Series, they had the shot bar last year and all of that, and I'm sure it's a fantastic time. I still, to this day, watch a lot of the Little League World Series, and outside of going to a Game 7 of a Stanley Cup, I don't know if there's anything that I'd want to do more in the sports world than go to the Little League World Series. I feel like that's something I have to do in my lifetime. So I'm going Little League World Series.
I'll have to agree with both of you. Little League World Series.
Yeah. Yeah, it's something as a kid that, like, you're watching and you're dreaming of playing in that, right? I mean, anybody who played Little League Baseball is like, oh my gosh, that is the ultimate. And so I think that makes sense. All right, my next question, guys, I'm going to go with a food question. And maybe this is something that you would be eating at the Little League World Series. I'm going to go with, are you more into cookies or are you more into ice cream?
Gosh, you love them both, right? You always talk about, this is like picking your favorite kid. Mm-hmm. You know, I mean, they're both
love
great.
Both.
I will say I've got a Handel's ice cream that I can walk to from my house, and I love going over there and getting a Reese Cup Hurricane, extra Reese Cup, or getting a milkshake. But you know that I love some cookies, and you know that I enjoy making.
You are a cookie monster.
Some cookies. And there's so much, both of them have so much variety.
I love how you said that.
But I feel like a cookie, if cookies are there, you can just grab one on the go and always just keep grabbing one and eat one. So I'm going to go with the cookie, but man, this is close.
I don't think I've seen a smile on your face all morning until right now.
It's a great question.
And when you bring up
false.
cookies,
We talked hockey, and I've been excited about that.
Cookies and ice cream bring out a smile in Ryan Baker that you wouldn't believe. So I was actually in a text argument with some buddies over this.
An argument?
Yeah, because I was talking about one of the famous ice cream places here in Columbus I said is overrated, and I think it's not that great, and because I prefer soft serve ice cream to regular ice cream. And I could do Dairy Queen vanilla ice cream every day of the week. Give me the Blizzards. I love the Blizzards, and I just prefer that more than regular ice cream. And so the thing with cookies is we have so many different options and varieties that I've got to go with the cookie over ice cream. But the ultimate is probably a cookie ice cream sandwich. We got cookie, ice cream, cookie. What about you, Cam? Cookies or ice cream?
So that's a great question. I'm not big on sweets, but I'll go on I feel is more consistent. I feel like ice cream. I've never really had bad ice cream. I feel like with cookies, sometimes they're too hard or too stale. Like I love a soft baked cookie, but I love the consistency of ice cream just about anywhere.
I like his final argument there. Yeah. That's pretty good. That could be a convince me at some point.
Because there are bad cookies.
There's
certainly a lot of bad cookies that are hard. Or I'm a guy that if the cookies have been out of the oven for more than a day or two, I'm kind of out on it. It's got to be like a right out of the oven or within the hour or two out of the oven type cookie for me.
There's been a lot of talk with this Four Nations tournament about All-Star games and how we can make All-Star games interesting or All-Star weekends interesting or what can we do to get fans involved. I've always kind of thought of a cross-promotional thing. So would you, Scotty Vegas, be more excited about seeing NFL players playing basketball or basketball players playing football?
Basketball players playing football. I think I would probably rather see football players playing basketball because I love like the videos of the really big fellas, like the offensive linemen, really down low. I remember a video of Orlando Pace. Remember how good of a high school basketball player and the highlights were of Orlando Pace?
DeJuan Jones.
Yes. So I think I would rather see, and how about this? Can I make this a rule? You have to be an offensive lineman.
If it would have been your question, yeah, you could have made it a rule.
I want big fellas playing hoops.
I think this would be great. I think you're going to get a better quality product, though, if you go the NFL guys playing basketball, because probably a lot of them played some basketball growing up, and you don't have the whole element of pads and play calling as much and whatnot. So I'm going to go NFL guys playing basketball, but I think both would be a lot of fun.
I think it would actually be hilarious to see NBA players try to play football, and if they would turn into soccer players with any kind of contact.
Next, this or that, guys. So I was actually in a gym shooting hoops the other day, and I was throwing up some threes, a lot of air balls.
I'm throwing up the operative word here.
Yeah. Where I was basically in my head, okay, it's a point if it just hits the rim, or half a point if I can at least hit the backboard on these shots. But it was kind of fun because it's something like in college, I used to shoot threes all the time, just kind of do a little 3-point contest with friends. So, all right, with the shape that we're in today, if I said you're either participating in a home run derby or a 3-point shootout, and it's you and me head to head, who are you taking? What sport would you rather be participating in, home run derby or 3-point shootout?
So it's been
to beat me.
It's been a long time since I've really shot baskets and played basketball.
Mm-hmm.
I still once or twice a year will go out and play some softball. So I think I'm going to take the home run derby because I think there would be less rust. Also, I'm a little bigger than you, so I think that gives me a little bit of an advantage. If this would have been 10 or 15 years ago, I may say let's shoot some threes, but it's been a long time since I played some hoops.
Yeah, I got a feeling you can hit the ball a long ways. I've seen you in golf. Yes, your ball might go 150 yards to the right.
I may not know where it's going, but...
Yeah, it's like I remember golfing with Jake Ballard, and gosh, he would hit the ball 330 yards, but it'd be 85 yards to the right or 85 yards to the left. You had no idea. It was never straight. It was just going to go 300 yards. You knew that. And I think you're kind of similar to that. I think I better take you in the three-point shootout. How about you, Cam? You doing a home run derby or are you doing a three-point shootout?
And this is against you, correct? I have to beat you.
I'm just saying, what would you be better at?
Oh, okay. I thought it would be more fun to say I would challenge you even if I'm rusty and haven't played basketball in a while.
You beat me.
Real quick, before he answers here, my guy Cam, I would say he's going to go three-point shootout, but the guy was a star third baseman for Columbus Academy, so I think he could do both here.
It's funny you say that. I actually have never hit a home run in my life.
Oh.
But in warm-up and batting practice, I was hitting them out of the park, though.
Well, that's home run derby.
All right, I'm going to go for a food question here for you, Scotty.
Let's do it.
You getting with chicken or you getting with shrimp Alfredo?
So I have to do Alfredo?
Yeah, it's chicken Alfredo or shrimp Alfredo.
So I love shrimp, but I don't want any Alfredo on it.
Why?
Because I think that ruins it. I just love the taste of shrimp. I don't need any sauce on it.
Okay.
Although I do like cocktail sauce. But I'm going to go with, to answer your question, I will go shrimp Alfredo over chicken.
So I think both of these are great. I think that sometimes you can get a shrimp Alfredo that is not as good. If you get a great shrimp Alfredo, man, it is tough to beat. But I love chicken Alfredo. There's just something about that combo of chicken and pasta and the Alfredo sauce. One of my favorite meals of all time. So I will go chicken Alfredo.
I'll have to go with Scotty and give me the shrimp Alfredo.
Okay, so we were talking about spring sports and how excited we are. I saw a 6-0 in the future weather forecast in the next week. I'm excited to get out and golf, hopefully, maybe a little bit this week with it hitting 60 degrees. So going back to the spring sport discussion here, are you more excited for the start of Major League Baseball season and opening day, or are you more excited for golf and the Masters? Which of the two excites you more? Start of baseball season, opening day, or those 4 days of golf heaven?
Man, this is so tough because I still enjoy baseball a lot. I'll put a lot of Reds games on in the background when I'm doing stuff around the house. I
can't
listen
to them on the Fan, right?
Absolutely. This year we're going to. I can't wait for April 2nd when we head down to Cincinnati because baseball in person is so good.
Front row.
Baseball gives you a whole, 6 months of watching if you're into baseball. I am not the biggest watch golf on TV fan, but there is something about Augusta and the Masters that is just so good, and you wait for it every year to come, every April. I love that we start seeing the Jim Nantz commercials in CBS for the Masters. So I'm going to go the Masters, even though it's more instant gratification rather than long term.
So there's a lot of issues right now in the game of golf. The split up with LIV and the pace of play is an issue. And I think the television coverage, for the most part, is a big mess in the world of golf. But those 4 days in spring and just the pictures, because look, we go through this winter and I feel like this winter has gone on a long time with how much snow we've gotten, and the snow is just stuck around. The thing is, those pictures of Augusta National and the flowers and the hearing the insects and the birds and all that stuff.
Hello, friends.
Yeah, hello, friends. It just screams spring. And to me, it's one of my 4 favorite days in sports. So I'm going to go Masters. Cam, you going the start of baseball, or are you going with the Masters for better spring sport?
I'm going to have to go with the Masters. I think just the the pageantry, the tradition of the Masters and the green jacket. Green jacket.
Yeah.
You mentioned real quick some of the issues with golf and the pace of play. And I understand with golf, every shot matters so much and it has to be perfection. And it's a different, sport, obviously. But one thing has always got me with golf, and since we're comparing it to baseball here, the stuffiness of golf. Like, the Phoenix Open is the most popular thing in golf right now because they have that 16th hole and it's crazy, and it probably gets too crazy sometimes. But these guys are trying to hit a stationary target, the ball. Baseball players are swinging at a ball coming 100 miles an hour at them with people taking pictures and screaming. It's just that whole stuff. And I get it's a different, 2 different things in the way it is, but that's always gotten me a little bit with the stuffiness there of golf.
Totally get it. I mean, I think they're trying to change that a little bit more. If you watch a live tour a little bit, they've got music going on while they're playing and stuff like that. But you're absolutely right. And the pace of play is an absolute disaster in professional golf now.
I always think of Happy Gilmore. Hey, let's make a little noise here.
Hey, let's make a little money. We're going to give out some best bets, and that is next on The Money.
Wake up with the Fan. Eat lunch with the Fan. Go to bed with the Fan. Dream about the Fan. Then change your sheets. Gross.
Ew, you guys are gross, but stick around in case I don't find anyone else.
The Fan.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing. 614-NEW-ROOF. NewmanRoofing.com.
Looking to sell your home? Don't pay 6% commission. Call my guys at Sell for 1% Realtors. They're full service, not a do-it-yourself kind of thing. On average, customers save over $10,000. Give them a call, 614-451-6616. That's 451-6616.
Hurry up, dude. The game's about to start.
Nothing beats spending the day watching the game with your buddies.
Dude, I'm literally right here. Let's do this.
Which is why a shelter insurance renter's policy is key to your winning game plan. It protects things your landlord's policy doesn't.
Dude, where's your TV?
What? No way, dude. Like that flat screen TV that just got stolen. To draft an agent for your team, visit shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
It's time for the biggest series of the year. Ohio State men's ice hockey takes on that team up north in the last home series of the regular season on Thursday, February 27th and Friday, February 28th. Get your tickets to this huge rivalry matchup at ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
For a limited time at Speedway, get 2 big pizza slices and your favorite Coca-Cola 20-ounce for only $5 with Speedy Rewards. Choose from Classic 3 Cheese, Pepperoni, or Extreme Meat Pizza. Save big with the $5 meal deal with Speedy Rewards. Only at Speedway. Valid through 3/4/25. See app for full terms.
Bo Bishop here. High Bank Distillery Co. is the most awarded distillery in America at the 2024 San Francisco World Spirits Competition. Stop by your local liquor store to grab a bottle, or the 3 restaurant locations in Gahanna, Grandview, or Westerville. Dine, drink, distill at High Bank.
Master Grillers Unite. The grilling season never ends at Billiards Plus. Come see their best-in-class grills for yourself and check out Central Ohio's largest selection of pool tables, game furniture, and shuffleboard. Family-owned and operated. Billiards Plus on Dublin Center Drive in Dublin. At Twin Peaks, they're proud to offer an exclusive and extensive collection of some incredibly rare bourbons, whiskeys, and tequilas. Plus, check out their barrel selects that are handpicked by their team and bottled just for you. Supply is limited. Check with your favorite location to see what they're pouring. Cheers.
You still thinking job change in the new year?
Yeah, I need something that's in high demand and more stable in this economy.
IT?
Yeah, cybersecurity, maybe even AI.
That's what I did.
Really? How?
Went to My Computer Career. You don't need any prior experience, and you could start your new career in a matter of months. A lot of IT pros go to school there, too, to level up.
Sweet. Are classes online or on campus?
Both.
Wow, I'll check it out. Thanks.
Make this your year. Take the free career evaluation now at mycomputercareer.edu. Financial aid is available for qualified students.
Listen to Financially Fit Radio with Corey Sickles this Saturday morning at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN, covering topics like what you need to know about annuities and how to stay healthy and enjoy retirement. Financially Fit Radio this Saturday at 9 a.m. on 1460 ESPN.
Bobby Carpenter once sold workout equipment on QVC Canada. There's no joke here. That actually happened. Morning Juice with Bobby and Beamer.
Weekdays starting at 6.
The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Ready to be the change and have a positive impact on your community? Consider joining the Columbus Division of Police. Starting pay is $70,000 plus, growing to 6 figures after 4 years of service. We offer paid vacations, paid holidays, and health insurance. Do you aspire to complete your degree? We offer 100% tuition reimbursement after you complete your first year of service. Contact the CPD recruiting unit at jobs@columbuspolice.org or apply online at columbus.gov/government/jobs. The City of Columbus is an equal opportunity employer.
Hi, Bob Mashuter back with a huge message for 2025. Dick Mashuter Ford is offering the biggest deals in a decade to kick off the new year. How about new Broncos for up to $16,000 off? New F-150s up to $11,000 off and up to $12,000 off of Super Duties. If you resolve to save money this new year, then don't wait and grab your new Ford to kick off an awesome 2025. Dick Mashuter Ford. Closed Sundays because it's the right thing to do, but 24/7 at mashuterford.net.
Back in the studio with a return visit from
Todd Schmeldt.
Todd, the last time you were with us, you claimed to be
the dumbest person in Columbus.
You're being really hard on yourself.
Not in the least. You know what I got?
I hate to ask.
One of them thermostats with the dial and the needle. Woo, woo, woo.
Maybe that's not modern, but not...
What am I? Eli Whitney, Elias Howe, Johann Gertis?
I don't know who those people are.
Those are old-timey people from the 19th century, and that's me. Outdated, like my silly old thermostat.
Oh, okay, look, you're not the dumbest guy in Columbus. You just haven't called Apex Pros.
The pros who knows?
Those guys. Whether it's the latest technology, fixing your furnace, or a brand new system, they know all the stuff so you don't have to.
I don't have to know it all?
Nah, you just have to know the pros who knows.
Apex Pros. I'm not the dumbest guy in Columbus.
I didn't even know who Johann Gertis was.
Inventor of the gas-powered unicycle. Look it up, doy.
Okay, you don't have to be me.
No doubt about it. Columbus loves Apex Pros. The pros who knows. ApexPros.com.
Want to know anything about the Fans contest? How to win? Or what's up for grabs? Check out 971thefan.com. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Dave Biddle's favorite kind of psychology is reverse psychology. You're listening to On the Money.
Presented by ESPN Bet, the official sports book of ESPN. What a play.
So these next few minutes on the Money are all about trying to win you some more money, win you some bets. We're going to give you our best bets going forward. But good news, the next hour is the Fan Call-In Show, and it's the opportunity for you to weigh in on anything in sports. We want to know what different spring sports you're most excited to watch. Maybe you're most excited to bet. Maybe you want to talk a little Ohio State hoops. Is this a tournament team? Are you worried about the direction of this program? We are going to open up those phone lines. The number is 614-821-9710. You can call in now, 614-821-9710. Those phone lines will open up, and next hour, the entire hour is you. You are basically the host of the Fan Call-In Show. All right, but these next couple minutes, it's about making money. Ryan Baker, what are your best bets for this week?
So it's funny, some of these we already had talked about in the show, obviously, and these are, national championship futures bets, Heisman futures bets. Those are long shots, right? A lot of times, it's hard to hit those because only one team or whatever wins. But I think these bets are worth the risk at the odds. And, of course, that one is Clemson. Clemson at 20-1 to win the national championship this coming year with all of the uncertainty at quarterback from the teams at the top. And Clemson has Cade Klubnik, who a lot of people don't realize what a good year he had last season. Over 3,600 yards passing, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. Clemson has the quarterback. They've got Dabo. Say whatever you want about Dabo. He's a proven head coach. He has won at the highest level. He's making adjustments and changes, it seems, to the new landscape of college athletics. 20-1, I think, is worth a shot for Clemson to win. And in the same regard, Cade Klubnik, 12-1 to win the Heisman. I think he's a guy that could put up we just mentioned his numbers from last year. He's a 64% career passer type guy. So I think Cade Klubnik to win the Heisman at 12-1 is a good one. And this is one our guy Dave Biddle has been pushing for a long time.
Oh, yeah.
The Cincinnati Reds over-under win total this year is 78.5. And I don't know how yesterday when you see Ellie De La Cruz with his first swing of the spring and just blast that ball out to right center field, how you can't be excited about this Reds team and this young talent with Terry Francona. Last year, the Reds won 77 games, I believe it was. I can't believe with Terry Francona at manager, that's not worth 10 more games.
And the fact that they're going to be on the Fan is probably worth another 10
even
games.
bonus. And that we're going to be
a 100-win team.
We're going to be there catching that Ellie De La Cruz home run ball on April 2nd. So the Reds minus 130, over 78.5 wins. I'm not as lock city on that as Dave Biddle is, but I'm pretty much there.
Here's the deal. We need to make sure we do an on the money bet together. And so when I go out to Vegas, I am going to place a bet on the Reds. That way I can be all in with you guys this year. I know you two are huge Reds fans, and now with the Reds coming on the Fan, I'm excited to join the bandwagon as well. So I will be a Reds fan, and I will place that bet with you. A couple other bets that I have ready to go, and one is for today, college hoops. And no, I'm not betting the Ohio State UCLA game, as I don't have a great feeling on that one. That spread, by the way, is Ohio State plus 6.5. A game that I feel a little bit more comfortable betting, I'm going to take Purdue on the road at Indiana. They're a 4.5-point favorite. I'm just going to take Purdue on the money line on that one. And then, guys, watching college basketball over the last couple of weeks really closely, I think there's a huge separation between Duke and Auburn and the rest of the field. Duke is 4-1 to win it all. Auburn is plus 375. I'm hopping on those for national championship future bets. And I'm also getting Ludwig Oberg to win the Masters at 14-1. Those are some of my bets.
Noah Kirk is not hoping for that.
No. The sportsbook director at Hollywood Casino does not want to see that one come through, because that would be a lot of money that they've got to pay out on a parlay. All right, reminder, the call-in show is next. I've got a $50 Visa gift card and some dining credits. So give us a call, 614-821-9710. The phone lines are open right now. We're going to talk spring sports with you. The Fan call-in show is next. This is On the Money.
Common Man has spent the past 18 years telling you how much he hates people. And yes, that probably means you, too. Common Man and T-Bone.
Weekdays at 3.
The Fan.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
To find an agent near you, visit shelterinsurance.com. We're your shield. We're your shelter.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for thousands of appetizing ingredients that inspire countless mouth-watering meals with savings beyond low prices. Like digital coupons worth over $600 each week and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you can get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Right now, select varieties are buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
When it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, call Newman Roofing, 614-NEW-ROOF, newmanroofing.com.
Ready to hit the road in a new car? With Pathways, enjoy up to 90 days with no payments and low auto loan rates. Learn more at pathwayscu.com. Pathways Financial Credit Union, your true financial partner. Federally insured by NCUA.
It's time for the biggest series of the year. Ohio State men's ice hockey takes on that team up north in the last home series of the regular season on Thursday, February 27th and Friday, February 28th. Get your tickets to this huge rivalry matchup at ohiostatebuckeyes.com.
Let me introduce y'all to my Canes. We got chicken fingers. They hit the spot, baby. Fries are golden crispy, Texas toast crunchy, and they cane sauce creamy rich. One love.
Hey folks, Austin Ward here, thinking I did something spectacular dropping 50 pounds, but then Steve pops in and dropped a whopping 150 pounds with Awaken 180 weight loss.
I got started because I was sick and tired of just being sick and tired all the time, wanted more from life, and I knew that at my size, I wasn't being who I could be, who I want to be for not only myself, but for my wife. And I was like, something has got to change and it's got to start soon. I mean, the program is so easy. Everything is really written down for you on your first day. having someone there to help you and also keep you accountable, just having that someone to talk to. And even the fact that Awaken 180 offers free maintenance for life is amazing, because our lives change on a daily, weekly, monthly basis. And sometimes you need help figuring it out, because keeping the weight off is a lifetime commitment.
A lifetime commitment is what you'll receive with Awaken 180. More than 50 pounds to lose like I did, or over 100 pounds like Steve, Awaken 180 can get you there and keep you there. Free support for life online at awaken180weightloss.com.